On my birthday, I closed my eyes and made a wish. But when I opened my eyes, my mother's body suddenly turned sideways to block me, and my sister took the opportunity to blow out my candle. I threw the cake directly on my sister's face. Blow, blow, blow. You won't live to see your own birthday. Before my sister could even start crying, I threw myself to the ground and began to crawl in the dark, scratching my hair frantically, screaming, crying, doing push-ups, walking around, howling like a ghost, crawling twistedly, and rolling my eyes. My parents were shocked. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Subscribe us to read wonderful novels every day. Now the story begins. My name is Iris, and I was reborn at the age of 14. I can sum up my past life in 3 words. Madonna syndrome. Before I was 10 years old, I was a left-behind child. My parents worked in the city to build their careers, and I lived with my grandparents in my hometown in the countryside. My grandparents wanted a grandson, so they didn't like me very much. In the days when I had no parents and no one loved me, I kept telling myself that only by being kind can I be loved by others, and only by being a person who repays evil with kindness can I be respected by others. When I was 10 years old, I was taken to the city by my parents and suddenly found out that I had an 8-year-old sister. The absurd life of the next 10 years proved to me a truth. If you endure for a while, you will have peace. If you take a step back, you will get into trouble. No one can love someone who doesn't love himself. What followed the cake smashing was, of course, my dad picked me up and gave me a big bag. And then, I was beaten up again. I was being beaten and crying, wantonly expressing all the grievances I had suffered so far. You are biased towards your sister. The 3 of you are a family. So why didn't you strangle me to death when you gave birth to me? Beat me to death. Beat me to death and I'll reincarnate you into jail. In my next life, I'll be your father. I'm also partial. I'll kill you. As soon as you're born, I'll flush you down the toilet. My father was so angry with me that he became like a devil and his veins bulged. My mother looked at me with disappointment. How did you become like this? It's so funny. She always looks at me with disappointment, but I'm immune to it. I can even give her a smile back that says, I'll dare next time. The next day, I deliberately wore a thick coat to go to school. It is autumn now. My classmates are all wearing long-sleeved shirts, but I am only wrapped in a small cotton jacket. I am so hot in class that I am sweating all over. The head teacher came up to me and asked me to take off my clothes because she felt uncomfortable seeing me sweat so much. I sobbed quietly, pretended to be submissive, and slowly took off my coat, revealing my bruised arms. The head teacher called the police immediately. I swear that I will study hard and repay my class teacher's kindness. God is helping me. My dad is a civil servant, a job that requires a lot of attention to image, so I wasn't worried at all that he would abandon me. I don't think it's likely that he will beat me to death. All I want is fairness. If no one gives it to me, I will fight for it myself. On the weekend, my mother took my sister to the mall and I was put in solitary confinement and locked at home. Before leaving, she asked me to think carefully about what animal-like things I had done recently. Your father is now the deputy director and is at a critical period of promotion. Do you know that you might become a stain on him? If I had known you were like this, I would rather not have given birth to you. Mom frowned in disgust. My sister hid behind her and made faces at me. I sat in the room for a while, and suddenly remembered that in my previous life, I was a girl praised by everyone. They lay on top of me, drank my blood, ate my flesh, hurt me wantonly, took everything from me, and then said to me, "You are such a good child." Is it true that the child who doesn't cry doesn't get any candy? If so, not only will I cry, I will also crawl in the dark, pull my hair, pick my nose, pick my eyes, climb a tree, babbling like a monkey, jump into the water and scream. I tore off the curtains in the room, cut them into strips, tied them into knots, tied one end to the windowsill and the other end to my body. My home is on the 3rd floor, which is not very high, but I still felt dizzy the moment I stood on the windowsill. I stepped out cautiously. Immediately, Screams were heard from below. Little girl, what are you doing? It's too dangerous. Go back. Go back. This is the government compound, where I grew up, and today Iris, will bring disgrace to my entire family. I let the rope go little by little. When the panicked people were about to call the police, I had already jumped to the ground. Don't worry, Uncle and Aunt. I've just been cooped up at home for too long, so I came out to relax. I smiled bravely. Although my family lives in a government compound, my parents actually have many houses, including villas and large apartments. This starts with my complicated family background. My father was a golden phoenix that flew out of the countryside. He was the only college graduate in the village at that time. He joined the unit right after graduation and has worked there for more than 10 years. Now he has become the second in command of the bureau. But my father wanted both money and power. So he asked my mother to quit her job and start a business under the guise of a business. His career was rapidly promoted and his wealth was plentiful. But unfortunately, he had to endure having a daughter like me. It's his bad luck. Haha. The people in the compound gave face to my father and didn't make a big deal out of the incident. But they were gossiping about it behind his back. Dad spanked me again. This time he was really beaten to death. Halfway through the fight, I suddenly asked, Dad, haven't you eaten yet? Dad was stunned for a moment. Immediately, his face turned red and he rushed towards me like an angry calf. I rushed to the window and opened it. Help! This is domestic violence. I'm going to be beaten to death. My mother hurriedly covered my mouth and pulled me back, then closed the window. Kill me. Tomorrow you'll be on the headlines and I'll go to hell. I've already thought of a headline for you. Shocking. The second in command of a certain bureau actually did this to his daughter late at night. Is this the annihilation of humanity or the decline of morality? My father has a very high IQ. Otherwise he would not have been the only college student in the village in that era. He forced himself to calm down and sat down on the sofa. Tell me, what do you want by making such a fuss? Dad lit a cigarette. Put out the cigarette, I said. His hands trembled. You little bastard. You dare. Think about it before you talk to me. I crossed my arms and looked down at him. Believe it or not, I will send you to a mental hospital. He threatened me with gritted teeth. I sneered. Mr. Gordon is a director, but you have a crazy daughter. As the saying goes, like a dragon, like a phoenix, like a phoenix. I am crazy and so are you. No wonder you can only be a deputy director your whole life. It turns out that it's because your own daughter is crazy. He pressed the cigarette butt into the ashtray. You don't have to be my daughter. I looked at him like a fool. No way. Is there really someone so great as to raise a child for someone else? He was stunned for a moment, then lowered his head and said no more. Gordon, you have to believe me. I'm not very happy to be your daughter either. How about we make some rules? When I was 15, I finally succeeded in transforming myself into the female devil that everyone in my family feared. Sometimes my sister would grab my things, and my mother would take them back and throw them to me, and then say, why are you grabbing her things? You want your mother to buy them for you. There is no love, but no hurt either. That's enough. One night, Jessica said to me, Sister, I really pity you. What good will it do for you to disobey your parents? You won't get a penny from the family fortune in the future. I looked at the book and chose to ignore her. Unexpectedly, she started to show off. Iris, why are you pretending? My parents and I are a family of 3, and you are never welcome in this house. If you know what's good for you, get out. When you come of age, I might persuade my parents to give you a few $1,000s. I threw a book at her, hitting her right on the forehead. Sister, I screamed heartbreakingly. Sister, why are you swinging the book at your head? If I really did something wrong, please punish me. God, don't hurt my innocent sister. I only drank soy milk this morning, and didn't even eat a bite of meat. I'm doing good deeds and accumulating virtues. He roared. He banged his head on the ground like crazy. Then he crawled in a weird posture, picking his nose and smearing it on his sister. Sister, how can I live without you? Jessica, you Don't come over here. After the high school entrance examination, I was admitted to the best high school in the city. My father wanted to hold a graduation banquet, but I immediately overturned the table. Fuck your mother. Concise and to the point. In his previous life, he invited his leaders and business partners to a grand banquet. Then he asked me to toast every leader or business partner who had helped him at the banquet. Liquor. I was only 15 years old, and I vomited so much that it took me several weeks to recover. Do you still want me to lick your boss in this life? Dream on. Dad's lips trembled. Okay. Then don't do it. Don't go crazy. I gave him a noble and cold smile in return and started to pack my things. My parents looked at each other and suddenly started to pack my things very attentively. Are you going to live on campus? If you need anything, I will buy it for you. I looked at them in confusion and said, why do you live on campus? I donated my junior high school stuff. What are you donating? Organize your notes and I'll give them to Chief's son. He's taking the high school entrance exam next year, Dad said. I smiled with a fake smile. You really know how to behave. But I didn't reject him. I thought that after a beating, I should give him a sweet reward. As long as I felt happy, I would still remember that he is my dad to some extent. I've packed it for you a long time ago. Here, send it over. I took out a set of exquisite study notes. The handwriting is careful and well organized. My dad was so excited that his nostrils flared and he was breathing heavily. You are my good son. My love for you is worth it. Mom, go buy some nice clothes. We can't be too shabby when we go to high school. He was as proud as a victorious rooster. I put some notes in my study materials. It was a personal biography of my father that I wrote. It was a story about a man who crawled out of the mountains and successfully changed his destiny. I hope to give children in mountainous areas hope and direction to move forward. To be honest, my dad is a very inspiring person. Although I also went to one middle school in my previous life, I was admitted at the bottom of the class. In this life, I had good grades and entered the best class in one middle school. On the first day of school, my dad didn't bother to keep a low profile and drove the best car in the family to take me to register. He held his head high, wishing that everyone knew that his daughter was admitted as the district's top scorer. As I stepped into the classroom, I suddenly remembered that Harley was in this class. Harley, a childhood friend of Jessica and I. Well, a childhood friend of Jessica. Not very related to me. He was my boyfriend in my previous life, and he was the person who hurt me the most. I entered the class a little late, and there were only 2 empty seats in the class, one next to the garbage pile and the other next to Harley. I decisively sat down next to the last row of garbage. A man who doesn't love himself is like rotten cabbage. Rotten cabbage stinks worse than a garbage dump. Hello, I'm your new desk mate. I greeted the boy next to me generously. Unexpectedly, the boy didn't even look at me, but just raised his head 45 degrees to look out the window. I packed up my stationery, took out my books and started wrapping them in book covers. Some people say that you should be nice to books, because they will protect you when you need them. I agree with them. I want to pack my books beautifully so that I will have the urge to read them every time I see them. Oh, only elementary school students cover their books with leather covers. A deep voice came from my ear, a series of bubbling sounds, which is uncomfortable to listen to. The first class was a class meeting. The head teacher asked students to start from the first row and introduce their names and hobbies one by one. I came up with an idea. My name is Iris and I like to go crazy. No, that would be too much of a show. I'm here to learn, not to attract attention. Unexpectedly, my deskmate stood up and said, "Hello everyone. My name is Homer. My right eye seals the evil power of the demon lord, and my dream is to defeat the holy angel." With a loud boom, the whole class was in an uproar. My name is Iris, and my dream is to become everyone's father, I said seriously. Then, my name is Jane, and my dream is to become a slipper, the one my mom used to beat me with. My name is Jolie and my dream is to become a princess, with Homer as a role model. No matter how much nonsense we talk, it will only be mediocre. When it was Harley's turn, he said with a hint of laughter. My name is Harley. My dream is to open a small shop and raise a lot of stray cats and dogs. I was a little surprised that a man like him would have such a dream. Because of Homer's nonsense, the relationship in our class is very harmonious. And this day will surely exist in our memories and shine like a jewel in our future lives. In the blink of an eye, I was in my 3rd year of high school. During these 2 years, Harley and I tacitly kept our distance. He is a reserved person. In my previous life, we had a close relationship. It was not until he confessed his love to me in my senior year of high school that we officially got together. But within 2 days, Jessica joined us and we became a threesome. Relying on my easygoing nature and my parents' constant advice, I became Jessica's babysitter. It's my fault. I always feel that as a sister, I have to take good care of my sister. I have a lot of strange responsibilities for no reason, and taking care of Jessica has never been my responsibility. I'm still a child myself. The past is too painful to recall. I don't want to have anything to do with them in my life. My only focus is on studying. I will bite anyone who disturbs me while I study. Coincidentally, I have been sitting at the same table with Homer for the past 3 years. He is a bit weird. He doesn't listen in class. He either looks out the window or sleeps soundly. After class, he gets angry at me. Oh, it hurts. My right hand hurts so much. Is the seal going to be lifted? Homer screamed. You must have fallen asleep in class. Stop talking and help me figure out how to solve this problem. I patted his shoulder. Draw a guideline here and another one here, Homer said honestly. Homer, why are you such a good student? Homer's hair was all blown up, like a hedgehog. Who are you? I glared at him. He lowered his voice automatically. Above science is theology. If you don't learn science thoroughly, how can you explore more mysteries in the world? What mysterious thing do you want to explore? I asked, biting the tip of the pen. Homer glanced at me, his ears turning red and shining. For example, is love an explosion of hormones or an attraction of souls? He faced the light and his whole face was glowing. Because I didn't want to waste time commuting to and from school, I started living in the school dormitory in my senior year of high school. If I could, I would really like to sleep directly in the classroom. My brain is simply not smart enough. And even though I tried my best, I could only stay in the top 10 in the class. In this key class, there are smart and hardworking students like Harley, and there are also academic geniuses like Homer who can get the first place in the exam without studying. But many are ordinary people like us who have average talents but are also trying their best. It's a rare weekend, so I plan to go back home. Firstly, to wash my dirty clothes and socks in the washing machine, and secondly, to go crazy and have some fun. My mood is like fuck it. The first person I saw when I got home was Jessica, who was sitting on the sofa watching TV. Long time no see. Jessica glanced at me. I don't want to bother with her. She's not fun and is always nagging. Mom and Dad are out, Jessica said with a smile. What a pity. I returned to my room, but found a lot of things that didn't belong to me. The bed was covered with Jessica's doll pillows and there was a piano. Seriously, I want to shit on Jessica's bed right now. Let her feel the feeling of being disgusted. But I am a civilized person and I can't do that. I rushed out of the room, grabbed Jessica's hair and slapped her twice. Jessica, you like to take other people's things so much. Even pork prices are rising. But you are becoming more and more cheap. Do you not know the difference between day and night when you are being cheap? Jessica screamed. Sister, please let me go. I won't dare to do it again. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. This is not what this little green tea girl should say now. Unless someone is here. I turned around and saw Harley staring at me with wide eyes. Jessica, you are really promising. Iris, I didn't expect you to be this kind of person. Harley looked at me with disappointment. I calmly picked up the phone and called the person in my address book who was marked as the source of happiness. Dad. Jessica brought a man home. Jessica is in a premature love relationship. Then, in a lightning-fast manner, he took a picture of Harley helping Jessica up, who fell to the ground with heartache. I looked at Harley. staring at him with an even more disappointed expression than before. You beast. Harley, you beast. My sister is not even 16 yet. Well, I sighed heavily. What nonsense are you talking about? Brother Harley and I are innocent. Jessica blushed. Then swear. Swear that if you are with Harley, you will die a miserable death. I continued to add fuel to the fire. After all, I am a madman, and whatever a madman says is normal. Of course Jessica didn't dare to swear. After all, our family only had a little power and money, while Harley's family was a big conglomerate. Conservatively speaking, with Jessica's character, the ceiling she can reach is Harley. Iris, you don't have to be so strong, Harley said. After so many years, you have changed after all. I will pretend that I have never seen the gentle girl in my memory. I lowered my eyes and observed 3 seconds of silence for my miserable past life, then turned and left. There is no point in continuing to quarrel with them, and a person cannot quarrel with 2 people at the same time. It will make him feel very aggrieved and mentally exhausted. My heart has long been conditioned by learning, and it cannot tolerate rotten cabbage and green tea. But I have the final say in my room. So I closed the door, smashed Jessica's piano, and cut her dolls into pieces. From now on, if your things enter my room again, this will be the result, including you. I threw the junk out of the room. That night, I didn't go back to school. I stayed at home, not for anything else, just to wait for my dear parents. At 6 o'clock, my parents came back with a lot of things in their hands. It was obvious that they were going shopping. Jessica rushed out of the room and ran into her mother's arms, taking all the shopping bags. I sat at the dining table, looked at my embarrassed mother, and said, "What are you standing there for? Go cook." Dad took a step back in fear, and I pouted at him. "You should also not sit around. Cut me a plate of fruit. By the way, Jessica, I heard from your homeroom teacher that you ranked last in the class in this monthly exam. What's going on? Have you become crazy because of your love life?" Jessica stared at me with vicious eyes, but she didn't dare to move with 2 slap marks on her face. "Go. Take the things your parents bought for you to your sister's room and your sister will help you try them on." I continued to speak shamelessly. "My parents bought it for me. How can you be so ignorant? Your sister is older than you, so good things should be given to your sister first." "Mr. Gordon, is this how you educate your children?" Dad endured it and said, "Give her the things. Dad will buy you new ones tomorrow. Give me a new copy too and mail it to school." The next day, I slept until I woke up naturally, which was a rare occasion. When I woke up, I found that the house was empty. My mother had gone to the company, and my father sent Jessica to school and then went to work. I opened the fridge and there was nothing. "Forget it. I'm used to it," I said to the mirror. When he opened the door, he suddenly saw a black car parked not far away. Homer stuck his head out of the car window and said, "My deskmate is going to school." Maybe the sunlight was too glaring. I felt pain in my eye sockets. Homer helped me carry the suitcase of clothes, pulled me into the car, and said excitedly, "Why didn't you come to the evening study session yesterday? Oh, by the way, I woke up this morning and found that the veins on my wrists were bulging." "Deskmate, come and have a look." I turned my head and saw a muscular arm with purple veins clearly visible. "Classmate, I have a feeling that I have evolved. Maybe I have become extremely strong. I didn't even have to use any strength to move the boxes just now." "Stupid. That's because the box is filled with clothes and is very light." "Classmate, have you had breakfast?" I shook my head. "If you don't mind, would you like to eat this burrito?" He looked at me expectantly. I was very hungry, so I grabbed the burrito and took a bite. "Will fairies eat burritos too?" I put green onions in them. He looked at me in surprise. I rolled my eyes at him. "This cake smells so good. It's still hot. Can that little fairy poop?" The driver in the front seat coughed suddenly and said dryly, "Master, we don't need to chat if we don't know how to chat. The college entrance examination is approaching, and I don't go home on weekends. I work hard on the questions at school every day." Homer also applied to live in the school dormitory. and he finally has some attitude towards learning. The class was in a tense mood, as the best class in the best school in the city, except for a new group of people who were replaced in the second year of high school due to the division of liberal arts and science. Everyone has been together for 3 years. Everyone is trying their best to catch up with others. One day left to the college entrance examination. I checked into the hotel. Homer was taken home by his family. But in the afternoon, he and his whole family moved into the suite next to mine. We met at dinner and he even said to me, "What a coincidence," on the first day of the college entrance examination. I just walked out of the room and saw Homer smiling at me. "Did you bring your admission ticket and ID card? Let's go." After the college entrance examination, I estimated that I had done well. But I would soon be 18 years old and my family would no longer be obligated to support me. So I had to find a way to support myself. I planned to work as a tutor during the summer vacation to save money. Coincidentally, a publishing house found me and said that they hoped I could sell them my notes from 3 years of high school so that they could publish a set of teaching supplementary books. A very considerable income. If I save a little, it will even be enough for me to finish college. The editor said that he first contacted Homer, the top student in our class. Homer said that he never took notes, and then he recommended me to the publishing house. Move. After the college entrance examination, I still stayed at home, eating and drinking and waiting to die. I'm waiting for my adulthood. In my previous life, my coming-of-age ceremony was extremely unpleasant. My father held a grand banquet for me and invited local celebrities and political and business leaders. He asked my mother to dress me up beautifully, like a commodity to be sold. And in fact, I was beautiful enough and eye-catching enough to be a commodity. During the dinner, my father asked me to toast, from high status to low status, from old to young. Many people with conscience advised the father, "Don't let a girl drink so much." Dad smiled and said, "Why are you afraid? She's an adult now and she likes to drink." I was a little dizzy from drinking, so I subconsciously went to find Harley. He was surrounded by a group of rich second-generation young people, and Jessica stood beside him. A group of people are laughing. "Harley, describe your girlfriend in 3 words, a young man asked with a grin. Harley seemed to have lost the game of truth or dare, and waved her hands helplessly. "Black, small, strong." A filthy laugh. "Where is it dark? Where is it small? Where is it strong?" He has dark skin, is short and has a strong personality. After the college entrance examination results came out, I received a call from the top 1 school, ranking 9th in the province. The class group was already buzzing with excitement, and there was no need to say who the top scorer was. Homer. But I was the dark horse this year and ranked 2nd in my class and 9th in the province. The head teacher frantically posted in the group, "As long as you work hard, there will really be rewards." The head teacher posted a short essay in the group. I was a little worried about Iris' mental state at the end. She was like a possessed person. I didn't dare to persuade her. Fortunately, there was a satisfactory result. 2 of our class were in the top 10 in the province. I will go down in history. The school won't build a monument for me, will it? If they build a statue, what pose should I strike? The head teacher asked again in the group. Honestly, he should be the one who is worried about his mental state. It seems that Homer has purchased some kind of membership, perhaps a red diamond or blue diamond one, and whenever he speaks in the group, there are colorful special effects. Let's congratulate Iris. Congratulations to Iris. He single-handedly brought the focus of the discussion back to me. I quickly sent him a private message. "Shut up, Homer. Homer, go out. What are you going out for?" I subconsciously looked downstairs at our house and saw a black car parked there. I rushed downstairs, but was stopped by my parents. "Where are you going?" "Honey, crematorium." I made it up. My parents looked unhappy. "Why are we going to the crematorium?" "Bury my lost youth. It's so late. It's not safe to go there. You are a student at a top 1 university now." Dad rubbed his hands. "I'll take you there." I opened my eyes wide and clapped my hands pretentiously. "Oh my God. My Virgin Mary. Dad, can I ride in your noble car?" "No way. No way. That's Jessica's exclusive seat. I'm afraid I'll get hemorrhoids if I sit in it. Oh my God. I've grown up and I've never ridden in my biological father's car. So a daughter can ride in her father's car. Do other people's daughters have the same good luck as me? Dad's face turned pale. I ran past him and headed downstairs. Homer was waiting for me downstairs, and he asked me anxiously about filling out my volunteer application. I said let it be. I haven't decided what to study yet. It is foolish to hastily decide the path of your life based on your scores when you are old and have nothing. What do you want to learn? I asked. My family asked me to study finance. Homer smiled bitterly. My hometown is in the capital city, and we do business. You know, children like us have to consider the family. You seem to have grown up suddenly. I touched his head and said with relief, "Don't touch me randomly. A man's head can only be touched by his wife," he said seriously, and then rubbed my fingers with his hair. I hastily put my fingers away and asked for something to say. "So what do you want to learn?" Homer fell into deep thought. "I want to study medicine and explore the miracles of the human body." "Okay, I've decided. I want to study medicine," I said. Homer panicked, his ears still red. You. What do you mean? You don't have to do it for me. I think I am very suitable for studying medicine because my personality is suitable. I concluded for myself. If I weren't crazy, I'd be pretty normal and a good candidate for medical study. My parents started to care about me, but I was no longer at that age. "Well, you will be an adult tomorrow. Dad has been a little sorry for you these years. How about I hold a grand coming-of-age ceremony for you? How about we write off all the grudges between father and daughter?" I said. "Not very good." He didn't expect me to be so stubborn. "I'm doing this for your own good, Iris. You don't think that your life will be smooth sailing once you get into college, do you?" Dad sat down on the sofa, relaxing. "I once thought that I could change my fate by going to college. But the college entrance examination is just an insignificant starting point in life. They called me a phoenix man and a toad. I studied hard and wanted to stand out. Even if I succeed, I will still be a person of the lowest class. Do you think you can have any decency and dignity without my help?" His eyes were full of mockery, as if he had seen through the rules of the world. However, in my eyes, he is even less childish than Homer. I was very calm. "You help me." "Help me with what?" "Help me become a lower class person, and let others drive me around." Gordon lit a cigarette. "No, you can stand on my shoulders to see the world. After all, you are my only daughter." I was stunned. "What does that mean?" "I adopted Jessica. Her father is my old colleague. Do you know how much benefit her adoption has brought me? Everyone praises me for being a loyal and righteous person. My career has been incredibly smooth." Gordon took a puff of his cigarette. I couldn't even see his face in the smoke. "You're ridiculous," I said. "It's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous." I thought Gordon was just partial to his younger sister. But he was worse than I thought. Everyone says I'm crazy, but it's obviously him. In his previous life, he indulged Jessica without any bottom line, and made Jessica develop such a domineering personality. After knowing that Harley and I were together, Jessica intervened forcefully. Harley was the kind of person who, to put it nicely, loved the weak, but in fact, could not tell right from wrong. Jessica just cried a few times and then coaxed him away. Under the double blow of betrayal by my sister and boyfriend, I failed the college entrance examination and went to an ordinary university. I told myself to stay away from them both, as far away as possible. But Jessica would deliberately put on a show for me every now and then. An 18-year-old girl who has never been treated well. How can she know how to treat herself well? I have depression. But I still didn't give up hope and actively cooperated with the treatment. Until one day, Harley came to me with my medical records and red eyes. He said, "I'm sorry. I didn't expect to hurt you so much. Look." He always pities the weak and is always so soft-hearted that it makes people sick. Harley started pursuing me again, asking about my well-being every day. Jessica went crazy and hit me to death with her car. The last scene I saw before I was reborn was Jessica's crazy and malicious smile. The coming-of-age ceremony was held as scheduled. Gordon thought I had compromised. He was certain that since I was his daughter, I must be like him, someone who would do anything to climb up the ladder. Unfortunately, I never was. Almost all the local celebrities came. Homer's hometown is in the capital city, so his family was naturally not invited. But as a friend of mine, I did send him an invitation letter. Gordon values profit and only allowed me to invite 2 people. The remaining places were used to pave the way for himself. After a round of greetings, Gordon walked to the stage and said, "Welcome everyone to my daughter's coming-of-age ceremony. In fact, today is also her graduation banquet." There was a burst of praise from the audience. "Mr. Gordon is really good at raising children. They are so good at studying." Gordon nodded at me and motioned for me to go up on stage and say a few nice words. I mouthed back, "Fuck you." He gritted his teeth and said, "I hope all my colleagues will eat and drink well. You want me to compromise? It's impossible. Iris, will never compromise in my life." I pretended to be good and weak a few days ago just to trick him into signing my household registration to the school. Now I have got what I wanted, and Gordon can't do anything to me anymore. I picked up some food in the venue, and when I turned around, I saw Homer standing in front of me in a neat silver gray suit, with broad shoulders and long legs. I gave him a thumbs up in my heart. You look so beautiful today." Homer pinched the corner of his clothes uncomfortably. "Stop pinching it. It will wrinkle your suit." I looked at him and he looked at me. I vaguely recalled the first time we met, when he glanced at me with pretentiousness and said, "Only elementary school students wrap their books in leather covers." The slightly immature face is the same as the face today. Before we knew it, we have known each other for 3 years. At that time, he had a shaved head and I had a ponytail and was wrapped in a loose school uniform. Until now, he has an exquisite hairstyle and I have proper makeup, wrapped in a gorgeous, adult face. But we still look at each other with the same innocent eyes as before. Homer took a gulp of his drink and said, Tomorrow I'm leaving. Going back to the capital city. Will you come with me? Let's go check out the school first or something," he asked in a low voice. "Sure. From now on I can go anywhere I want." His eyes suddenly lit up. "Then it's settled. I'll come pick you up tomorrow and you'll be mine from now on." "No, I can be your guardian from now on." He spoke righteously. I suddenly had bad intentions and approached him. "How do you want to support me?" Homer's body was straight, and his muscles were faintly visible under his tight suit jacket. "I'll give you all the money, and you support me. TSK. I thought it was a confession. I sighed in pretend disappointment. Homer's face flushed, and he was very anxious. "It's a confession. It's a confession. Are you willing?" He suddenly knelt on one knee. "Are you willing?" Luckily he and I were in the same corner. Otherwise it would have been really embarrassing. I pulled him up and said, "I do. Some are happy. Some are sad." Homer was looking at me with eyes that were so tearful, and Jessica was crying and hugging Harley in the corridor outside the banquet hall. I really like you," Jessica cried and hiccuped. "Sister Jessica, I treat you as my sister." Harley raised his hands helplessly. After the banquet, I went home to pack my things. I didn't take anything with me except 2 sets of underwear. I will return all the food and things I have used during these years at the Jiang family. I opened the door and saw Jessica sitting on the sofa pruning branches in the faint moonlight. A pot of azalea was cut into pieces by her. "You are amazing. You prune the flowers without turning on the lights. You are very proud, aren't you?" Jessica's ghostly voice came and scared me. "You should have known it a long time ago. I'm not my parents' biological child." "So what? Iris, I have enjoyed your love for so many years. Are you jealous of me? Don't do it in front of me if you're sick," I warned. "Oh, by the way, Iris, do you know what Harley said about you?" He said, haha. "He said you were black, small, and strong." Jessica stood up. She was really well developed, with fair skin, and was half a head taller than me. "Everything you have will eventually be mine. Your biological parents don't want you, let alone your brother Harley. She challenged me. Oh, yes, yes. I'm giving it to you. I'm giving it to you. All of it. I pulled the suitcase. By the way, don't you want to put dolls in my room? Put them in. Put them in. And the piano can also be put in. After saying this, he left without any regrets. I don't want to stay in this house for even a second. Iris, you'd better die outside and never come back. Jessica roared. I turned around and said, Jessica, you are so pitiful. In response to me, Jessica lost control of her emotions and threw a pair of scissors. She probably didn't expect that she could throw it so accurately, hitting me directly in the chest. I fell to the ground. The next time I opened my eyes, I was in the hospital, with my mother by my bedside. I quickly touched my chest. Why is there no wound? I remembered that I put the vocabulary notebook in my chest pocket. After studying for so many years, I have become accustomed to carrying the vocabulary notebook on my chest. I also plan to continue studying English with others when I go to college. See, I told you to be nice to books. They will protect you at critical moments. Iris, you're awake. Mom rushed over anxiously. Hurry, I'll get you a pen and paper. Write a letter of apology to Jessica. Your dad has sent Jessica to the police station. Look, this is my mom. Sure, I'll write a letter of apology and you'll write a certificate of severance of relationship. I said expressionlessly. Why are you so selfish? Aren't you unhurt? That's your sister. Mom screamed. I didn't respond to her. I just lay down. She tore at my blanket and tried to make me sit up. Although it was a bit embarrassing, I guess I was just scared to death. Who wouldn't be afraid when seeing a pair of scissors stuck in their chest? Iris, I raised you for 8 years, and this is how you repay me. You ungrateful bastard. Bitch. I sat up, shook my head frantically, and yelled, I don't want to listen. I don't want to listen. I don't want to listen. You are not my mother at all. How can a mother do such a thing when her daughter was almost killed? You are Jessica's mother. Dad said Jessica was adopted, but I am the adopted one. Right. I started.
As long as I pretended to be wronged, he would not push me away, but he pushed it away. He said, at first I thought that Iris and I were the same type of people, with a gentle personality and not good at arguing. So I always suffered losses and was bullied. But later, she made me see the light, and I also wanted to be like her. After I got home, I lost control and threw what I was holding at Iris. I forgot that I was holding a pair of scissors. Fortunately, Iris is okay. I hate her, but I don't want her to die, as long as she doesn't steal my things. The next day Iris left with her suitcase. My father said to me, when you come of age, then leave. He looked at me as if I were looking at something dirty. Overnight, I lost everything. I never saw Iris again for the rest of my life. At the age of 18, I failed to get into college and was kicked out by my family. Only then did I realize the hardships of life. Years later, I found out that it seemed like I was the one who stole Iris's things. Those things originally belonged to Iris, and I was the thief. Jessica's mother. My name is Maria, a girl who worked hard to get into college and become a teacher to change her destiny. When I was 23 years old, I met Gordon, who had passed the exam just like me. We got together and had a lovely daughter. Gordon asked me to resign, but I didn't want to. I knew I got my job through hard work. I could give up my life but not my job. I wanted to hire a confinement nanny, but Gordon refused. He said he was just a clerk and there were so many eyes on him. So how could he possibly hire a confinement nanny? So we sent our little daughter to the countryside. On the day she left, my daughter cried her heart out. But I didn't look back. When she grows up, she will know how much convenience a successful mother will bring her. But I didn't expect that Gordon brought back a baby and said it was his colleague's child. A colleague and his wife died in a car accident, leaving behind a baby, and he decided to adopt the baby. I don't agree. I don't even raise my own daughter. Why should I raise someone else's daughter? But this time, Gordon gave me a satisfactory condition. He said he wanted to start a company, but his status was special. So he asked me to resign and use the name of the company. I don't understand all these twists and turns, but I know that he won't harm me, and he dare not harm me. I agreed. But when I asked him to bring his daughter back from the countryside, he refused again. He said that he had just adopted the child and everyone was watching him, so he couldn't make any mistakes. Just bear with it a little longer. I'm going to be promoted to section chief soon. He hugged me. As I looked at the baby, I felt longing and guilt for my daughter. Finally, the guilt overwhelmed me, and I brainwashed myself. This is my daughter, my only daughter. But when my real daughter came back, I treated her as the invading bad guy. Finally, I forced my biological daughter away. She carried her suitcase and said, "Bye," to me. Somehow, I knew that the most important treasure in my life was about to disappear. I wanted to catch her, but found that I didn't even have a reason. People often say that those who are involved in the situation are often confused, while those who are watching can see things clearly. However, those who are in the situation can never see clearly what they want. He always acts on his own will, like a broken jar thrown into the air, with no clear mind. I'm old, and Iris pays me alimony every year, but she never comes back. Gordon and I searched all over the capital city but couldn't find her. Gordon and I counted our assets and kept only what we needed for daily living. We put the rest into cash and sent it to Iris, hoping that she would look upon us. But she didn't ask for money, nor did she ask for us. Gordon said that his life was like a joke. He just wanted to climb up by any means necessary so that his children could stand on his shoulders and suffer less. But in the end, he even lost his children. If he could do it again, he would never adopt Jessica. If I could do it all over again, I would definitely treat my Iris well. I had so many chances to be nice to her, but I didn't seize them once. My Iris. For the rest of my life, I never saw my Iris again. Homer. My family lives in the capital city. My parents are busy with business and have no time to take care of me. So I have been watching anime and reading novels since I was a child, and successfully grew up to be a man with the power of a demon lord. My parents thought I was too embarrassing, so they sent me to study in high school in Province A, where the teaching level was very high. Here, I met the love of my life. I met a girl on the first day of school. She was very cute and everything from her hair to her toes met my aesthetic standards. But it's not so easy to win the heart of young Master He. I turned my head away from her. Only elementary school students wrap books in book covers. I blurted out something faster than my brain could handle. Then I regretted it so much that I wanted to strangle myself. She rolled her eyes at me. At my strong request, she and I sat at the same table for 3 years. When I changed seats before, a boy sat next to me for a short time. After my enthusiastic harassment, the boy couldn't stand it anymore and asked the teacher to change his seat. A little trick. A little trick. She doesn't mind me being a middle school student, nor does she mind me having arms that are always crossing the line. She also doesn't mind me being all sweaty after playing basketball. She is so nice. But such a good girl like Iris had a hard life. I know that no one ever held a parent-teacher meeting for her. My parents flew over from the capital city to attend a parent-teacher conference for me. But she didn't. She sat alone in her seat. I will directly make my mother become her mother. My mother winked at me and then said to Iris, "Little boy, I'll help you with the parent-teacher conference. Let's rehearse it in advance. You can call me Mom." Iris was stunned and called out, "Mom." I wanted to jump out the window and roll on the spot, climb a tree, and roar like Tarzan. After graduating from high school, I got Iris as I wished and brought her back to the capital city. A dream that I had dreamed of for many years has finally come true. I feel like I am floating. The only thing that makes me unhappy is that Iris is studying in medical school and is so busy. I often don't see her, which makes me sad. There is another thing. That guy named Harley was my classmate. He looked like he deserved a beating. He went to the medical school every day. I don't know what he was thinking. That was my wife. Don't you have a wife yourself? Oh yeah. He really didn't. Harley is a really bad dog. Iris and I got married right after we graduated from college. On the wedding day, Harley took ugly photos of me. He sent it to me and said that I was smiling like a silly dog. End of full text.